Grand rising, grand evening, whatever time it is for you. So, today I want to talk about the sacred mirror connections that we have in our life. The other day, I, upon request and with their free will and consent, I was sitting in a liminal space between two friends, and I offered some guidance and some information so that they could connect deeper with themselves, or to guide them deeper to self, which would in turn guide them into a deeper, more cohesive connection with each other. And while I was offering this guidance, during that conversation, I brought up sacred mirrors. So sacred mirror relationships and connections, we have several of them throughout our experience. A lot of people refer to these types of connections as being soulmate connections. It can be family, friends, lovers, business. They come in all forms. And, some of these sacred mirror connections are only in your experience for a season, while others are in your experience for much longer, and even a few, lasting your entire experience. So I want to touch on what a sacred mirror connection is, and the purpose of these types of connections and relationships. So these types of dynamics are meant to offer you the opportunity to connect deeper with yourself and gain a deeper, more intimate, whole understanding of yourself. They are incredibly triggering. And so the way that you can recognize if you are being met with a sacred mirror is it will be the individuals in your experience that they are not doing anything to you that's malicious or anything like that, but just by observing this individual or being in their energy, you might experience a lot of triggering. And the reason being is because our triggers are actually activation points. Our triggers are the road, the key that connects us to our unintegrated shadows. And unintegrated shadows, or even the word shadows, has a really negative connotation, and I'm not entirely sure why, because all that a shadow is, right, is untapped potential. It is unrealized sovereign potential that is still in your subconscious. So with these sacred mirrors, the very things that you are observing in this individual that triggers you or causes feelings of insecurity or destabilization just by them simply existing and being, those very attributes that you see in that person that normally, I will say this, the triggering, all triggers that lead you to these shadows, they stem from looking through a lack lens. So a lot of the times when you meet a sacred mirror, you might be triggered by or activated by aspects in them that you believe you yourself do not hold or do not house. But that's the test there. That is not accurate. Actually, the very things that you're observing in that other person that you feel you do not have, when you feel those triggers that are activated by observing these specific aspects in another person, those triggers are the very things you are observing in their unintegrated state. So anything that, when looking at a sacred mirror, anything that you're observing that you feel yourself, or that you feel is lacking within yourself, and you're observing in this other person, the trigger that you feel is that thing you are observing within yourself that has not yet been realized or brought into your conscious awareness, so it has not yet been integrated. So the expression isn't the expression of what it is you're observing in that person, but that trigger is that very thing that you feel like you are lacking and that you're observing in that other person that is triggering you. The trigger acts as a, it's like a an alarm, right? It is like, hey, I'm right here. That very thing you're observing in that sacred mirror that you feel you are lacking, that you feel you do not house, is housed here. And that part in you that is being triggered is that thing. It is just that thing in its unintegrated and unrealized state of being. And that's all shadows truly are. They are untapped, unrealized sovereign potential. They are the aspects of you, all of these beautiful aspects of you, potential, positive potential, aspects of you that have not been met with curiosity and non-judgment in order to be integrated. Once you integrate a shadow, the expression of it changes. So when you're met with a sacred mirror, you might think, oh, that person is so calm, all the time. That person seems to just be so easygoing, so tempered, so strong, so confident, whatever it is. Those very things that you're observing in that sacred mirror, the things being reflected back to you, are aspects of you. And you're observing them in that person. And your body is responding, saying, hey, I'm right here within you. But in order for your conscious expression to be what it is that you're admiring or observing in that other person, you need to meet those aspects of yourself with genuine curiosity, with genuine unconditional love, and without judgment. It is, there is this type of fallacy that I see in human beings. The desire to be seen, to be felt, to be understood, to be known, at a deep core level. But when they're met with a sacred mirror, someone who is meeting them with curiosity, who genuinely wants to know them, who genuinely wants to see them, they get that too can cause triggering and feelings of unsafety, because it can feel very ungrounding when you yourself have aspects of yourself that are unrealized, that you yourself have not connected to, that you yourself can't yet see, or haven't given yourself the permission to observe, recognize, own, and integrate. When someone meets you with genuine curiosity, they want to know. They want to know you, but you yourself don't know all of you. That can feel very vulnerable, and it can feel very invasive. It can feel very triggering, right? It is triggering, or it can start feeling like you are under, that person has you under a magnifying glass or a microscope, when in reality, the very thing you're wanting, to be seen, to be felt, to be heard, to be understood, that person is attempting to gain that connection and do exactly that. But the reason why we're this feeling, a feeling like you're being under a magnifying glass or watched, that is due to what you yourself, at a subconscious level, you know that there are all of these aspects of yourself that you have not even seen yet, that you have not, that haven't been brought into your conscious awareness. And so this becomes like a very, it's a fallacy, because in order for someone to fully see you, to fully know you, and to fully connect with you, that same type of authentic curiosity, non-judgment, and genuine desire to understand you, to know you, you would need to turn that inward and meet your triggers, your shadows, and all aspects of you with that same authentic and genuine curiosity and desire to know you and understand you. And it is only then that in these divine mirror, sacred mirror relationships, once both parties take that desire to connect, to understand, to know, that same unconditional love, that same non-judgment, that same genuine curiosity to connect and to understand, and they turn that inward into themselves and do that within themselves until they reach a point within themselves where they know themselves fully, wholly, at a deep, intimate, integral level. That is when the mirrors can reflect back truth and authenticity. And that is when both individuals can receive each other in a reciprocal and clear way. Because with these sacred mirror relationships, the triggering only ceases once you have met and connected with all of those triggers within yourself. And I'm probably not explaining this in the best way. I tend to explain these ideas and these processes a lot better when I'm in active conversation with someone, but I do hope that at least I'm touching on the major points that I am attempting to convey here. These relationships are extremely pivotal, these types of connections, and you will have several throughout your journey. But I share this because I think it's important in reference to our soul's evolution, in reference to connecting deeper with self and knowing yourself, and because you can't really stand in wholeness or in true authenticity if you have not explored all the depths within you, everything within you. If you do not know yourself wholly and fully, then what you exude, the expression you exude, is always going to be a partial expression of all that you are. And another thing I was sharing with these individuals, it's beautiful, beautiful souls, by the way, but I feel like it was a very good conversation. Enough for me to feel like this might be information I should share here on my platform. But another thing I mentioned was that the thing about those who experience self-judgment, who have trouble accepting, looking at, or connecting with all aspects within themselves, both the light, the dark, and everything in between, both the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, all of it, right? When we do that within, when we're so hard on ourselves, and we have these preconceived notions about what we should be and how we should act and what, where we should be on in regards to our own becoming, that is the energy that we embody and that we exude. That same self-judgment, even at a subconscious level. And it's not this malicious thing. People who judge themselves by proxy put off an energy of just that. And so it makes it a lot difficult when it comes to connecting with others, because there is, even at an energetic subconscious level, there is this energy exchange happening where the self-judgment that this person is embodying is also what they're exuding. And so it makes it difficult for this person to feel like there's a safe, judgment-free, accepting, loving, curious, authentic, and safe environment to then fully express and connect, right? Anything that happens within us, it is that is what you do within is the energy you embody and that you exude. And you can see this, the proof of this, when you've been on this journey for a while. The changes you make within completely changes the way that people respond and connect with you, right? If you yourself are someone who doesn't meet yourself with judgment, who meets yourself with authentic curiosity and a desire to seek and know and understand, then when you connect with others, they're a lot more open and transparent, and they want to share, because that is the energy that you exude, that curious, non-judgmental, safe, open container that you've cultivated within. The way that the relationship that you've built with yourself exudes that specific frequency and energy. And whatever you've created within your inner container is the same container that you create for the connections, the friendships that you cultivate. And so when it comes to these sacred divine mirrors, it truly is a gift. It is a gift from the divine to meet someone that activates you. And I mean, people don't like to be uncomfortable, but as we know, that's growth and evolution. It's a very uncomfortable process. It is a shaking, a breaking, an opening, a widening, an expanding, and evolving. That is evolution. That is growth. And so I think it's a beautiful thing if you have someone in your experience that in them just being, they activate aspects in you that need you, that need your attention, that need your connection, that need your non-judgment, that need to be held, that need to be absorbed and integrated. Because when you integrate these aspects, the expression of them, you'll come to find, are the very things that were once rooted in a lack lens. The very things that you're observing in those sacred mirrors that you felt you yourself did not house or embody are actually found in those very triggers. And in meeting those triggers with genuine curiosity, genuine love, a genuine desire to understand yourself, and then coming to a self-understanding and a self-realization, those triggers, those shadows, in their highest potential, you'll come to find, are the very things that you observed in another that you thought you didn't house. You see, everything truly is all connected. There is an infinite energetic exchange happening between all things. There's also an infinite energetic exchange happening in these containers in our lives, in interpersonal relationships, in spaces and in places. even when it comes to the things that we consume and the things that we exude, there is this very intrinsic relationship, and you will come to find a pattern that I've realized is that the things you do within do affect the things you experience and are reflected back to you without. And the things you do without do affect and are reflected back to you with the relationship and the container and the environment that you have within. And so, I do hope, whatever, this will resonate with those who it resonates, with those who have the ability to conceptualize my words and understand what it is I'm putting down. I'm sending you guys so much love to the universe and beyond. Tomorrow is the new moon. I know for me, anytime when it comes to like new moons and full moons, my body responds by wanting like sleep. Like, I get really tired around these lunar phases, specifically new moons and full moons. Very tired. I still do my spiritual baths. I'll still do my things that I do. But rest. I think that I integrate a lot around these lunar phases. So rest. I spent a lot of time outside with my daughter today. It was amazing. I took her on a mommy-daughter date. We went out to eat. We went and walked around downtown. We went in the park. We looked at statues and sculptures, and yeah, it's been a really beautiful day. And so, again, I am sending you so much love to the universe and beyond. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot. Okay, so this is completely off topic and has nothing to do with anything that I shared in this video, but hear me out. If you are on the spectrum, if you are neurodivergent and you record videos, I want to share a trick that I found, because I know for me, if you go on my TikTok and you look at my old videos, it was really difficult for me to look at a camera and speak. Like, literally, I still lose my words and things like that sometimes, but I'm telling you, I found if you're like spiritual and you're neurodivergent, I found a trick. Because I as a neurodivergent person, a lot of people say like, oh, people on the spectrum can't make eye contact, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true. I actually have been told that I make too much eye contact. So I have like the opposite thing going on, where when I'm in conversation with people, I might stare too intently, not blink very, or like not, I've just been told that I give like way too much eye contact. So I'm constantly thinking about the eye contact thing. But when I am actively speaking in from person to person, like if I'm talking to someone and I'm thinking and speaking, it's really hard for me to make eye contact while I'm actively thinking, imagining, and speaking. So that's when you'll see me, like if you were talking to me face to face and I was talking to you like this and I'm actively thinking and trying to explain something to you, that's when you'll see me looking all over the place. Like my eyes are all everywhere but your eyes. But if you're speaking to me, I'm locked in. Like okay, but with cameras, like when you know that you are speaking to a camera and being recorded, that is an entirely different experience, okay? Because it feels like a pair of eyes are on you, right? And as I just shared, when I'm trying to explain something or share something to another person, it's really hard for me to make eye contact and still think and process what I'm saying without my brain just completely shutting down. So I have that same effect. Like the camera feels like I'm talking, like I feel like someone's watching me, right, as I'm recording. So something that's really helped me is either and this is gonna work only be for like those of you who are into crystals, who are spiritual, all right? But this really does help me, and it makes it so, like I said, I still lose my words sometimes, as you see in some of my videos. I still get off track sometimes, but it really has helped me ground. Especially like when I first started recording these videos, I would have to write everything that I wanted to say down and then just read it and not look at the camera. That was the only way I could convey. And as you can see, I'm now a lot more confident in front of the camera. And it's my crystals, man. That's why. Okay, so let me tell you. So hematite, in a lot of my videos, you'll see me holding a piece of hematite and quartz. So and sometimes I hold obsidian. Something about the quartz with either the hematite or the obsidian really helps ground me. Like, it really helps keep me here and leveled and like anchored to the ground. Even like the weight of, I like obsidian because it's heavy, but so is hematite. Something about the weight and just having them in my hands, almost like a fidget of some sort, it really helps me think and process in a way that normally would be really difficult for me to do if I had someone in front of me looking at me as I was trying to share something or explain something with them. Because my natural inclination is to look everywhere as I'm talking, dart all over the place as if I were talking to a person, because that's the way that I respond. But these really help. Obsidian, hematite, and quartz. And you can also set the intention of allowing the messages that you share and the information that you share to flow freely. You can set intentions in crystals, but even physically, the weight of having the crystals in my hand really, really, really helps. It does. It makes it a lot easier for me to express and to speak without my mind going blank, without it being a whole weird sensory thing. Because eye contact, whether you're neurodivergent and you have trouble making eye contact, or whether you're neurodivergent and you make a lot of eye contact, or if you're kind of like a combination of two, depending on whether you're the one speaking or you're the one listening, it's something that's in our heads like all the time. Like, it's like something that I actively think about a lot. That and like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but, and if you're constantly thinking about what to do with your eyes and your eye contact, it makes it really difficult to like listen or be receptive to what's being shared with you. And it also makes it really difficult to speak or think, right? Because you're already preoccupied with all of these thoughts of like, I know with me, when people are sharing with me, I have to remind myself like, hey, blink and like look away after, like, I try really hard not to creep people out, because especially like when I was younger, and even in like my early 20s, I was told, especially like by romantic partners and things, that I was like staring into their soul, or like they felt like I was just like looking in them or looking through them. And I think that's a little spiritual. I think if you have parts of yourself that are still hidden from yourself, right? It can feel really intimate and vulnerable, and to have someone who sees you, who is seeing you. I don't know, can't really do much about it, but I can hold these stones while I speak to the camera. So if you're neurodivergent, if you are on the spectrum, try some grounding crystals like while you record. It really does help, like, because I've tested it. Like, I've tried recording videos without anything in my hands and without any grounding crystals. versus with them in my hands, and there's a major difference. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I still lose my words. My brain still does the weird blinky thing if I become too aware that there's a camera looking at me. But for the most part, it really has helped a lot. So that's all I wanted to share there at the end. I am sending you guys so much love to the universe and beyond. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye.